Professor, first of all, if you can just brief us about what this institute is about.
Thank you, Hiren. So let me just give you a background of this institute, how it got conceptualized. So way back in 2009, the chairman wanted that to cater to the in-house needs, and he had a grand vision actually that obviously it goes beyond the in-house needs, but primarily they thought that India is growing at a faster pace and infrastructure is core to the growth. And there is a shortage of infra managers. That's a unique concept because till point managers usually come from the standard business school, which is which is the standard kind of accepted sort of industry norm. Now here we are talking about an MBA program or PGDM program, which is a very sector specific program.
Right. Okay.
So because there was a need actually, because India is moving from this typical constructing those infrastructure to managing those infrastructure. So
right.
This change was obviously the chairman had this vision that going forward, this managing the infrastructure will be a challenge. Because constructing we have enough of manpower as well as big companies, companies, typical EPC companies who are great in terms of building those infrastructure, be it roads, ports, power plants, but managing those assets will be a challenge. So that I think was the core of his thought, and in fact that was very exciting actually. How do we create a business school without losing the essential characteristic of business school yet give it a sense that it is larger than the typical MBA program.
Okay.
And it is it is catering to a particular need, and need is there. That means so what happens in a typical business school that as the placement season approaches, people scramble around in terms of finding the right company, right job, right this thing, right that thing. Here we are closing that option. In the sense here, in fact, here the institute is already decided that the graduates will go straight to the big infrastructure houses, banks, owner, and those kind of companies, including consulting companies. But the sector is fixed now.
Okay.
So that was the concept. So we started with a one-year program in 2009, and it went really well till 2015. Then in the 2015 we decided let's switch gears without again losing the essential characteristic of the program, which is the one-year program, and we switched to two-year program.
Okay.
And the moment you go to two-year program, obviously there has to be an approval process. So we got the AICTE approved, thing in place, and since 2015 the two-year program is on. And we are very happy that if I look back, I think the one-year program has been absolutely, I would say, readily and happily accepted by the industry, and all of our graduates are there in strategic positions actually in most of the infra companies. I do not want to name these companies. Right. And we hope that the same trend is going to continue actually. So that is how the story of the institute is.
Right.
Yeah. And we are well placed. In terms of one example that I always give, that how this institute is so blessed or how we are so privileged is that it is part of a larger in fact it is part of the largest infra conglomerate, the Adani Group. And the institute is into the same space that the parent group is into. The only thing is that we are teaching academic and they are practicing. And the institute is the melting point actually.
Correct.
I see that as a melting point.
Right.
And nowhere across the globe, I do not see this kind of synergistic, collaborative school in general exist anywhere.
Right. Okay. So what essentially we are trying to say is that the institute is basically teaching the same thing that the parent group practices.
It's not teaching the same thing. I'm saying that usually what happens in academic space that as a faculty who is passionate about infrastructure sector, he would actually let's say go to 10 different companies to prepare case studies to understand the nuanced sort of architecture of the industry. Here it is given in the sense I can easily access to the power company, I can easily access to the port company, I can easily access to the SCJ company, I can easily access to the real estate company to understand and something that that is so essential to that that particular industry, which is which is always missing in a standalone business school actually. The industry interface thing is absolutely missing, and that is why industry usually, I would not say, I hate to use this word, but industry usually look down upon generalist MBA.
Right.
General MBAs.
Okay.
They believe that the general MBAs throw a lot of abstract concept, which is detached from the industry needs. Here the same abstract concept get intertwined with the industry specific needs.
Right.
That I hope that is palatable. I hope that is the reason why industry is enjoying our graduates.